You're going to the door, you're putting a label on the door, you're driving away, and then they're calling a call center. Now, if you put 20 labels out there, the question you should be asking is, how many calls are you going to get? And the answer is an average of 4. It's about a 20% conversion rate. So you're going to get about 4 calls from those 20 labels. When those 4 people call into the call center, one of them on average are going to decline the package and say they're not interested. 3 of them are going to give you a time. And then you're going to go out to those homeowners to meet with them face to face to discuss their situation. And of the 3 that schedule an appointment, 1 is not going to show, and you're going to meet with 2 people. So in other words, if you spend 90 to 120 minutes putting labels out, and it takes about an hour to do 10 to 12 labels. You'll do 10 to 12 labels in about 1 hour. So it should take less than 2 hours to do 20 labels. You're going to get 2 face-to-face meetings with homeowners that have a very high probability of listing their house in the next few days. So I don't know how that sounds to you, but I'd certainly love to know your feedback, and I wish I could just turn everybody on and we can have a free-for-all here, but there's just too many people on this webinar to be able to do that. So that's how the program works. But the question you should be asking yourself is, can you see yourself doing that? Can you see yourself putting the list together, putting the labels, getting in your car, putting them on the door, getting in your car, leaving, waiting for the appointments to be set, and then going back out and meeting with those homeowners face-to-face to talk with somebody who has a high probability of listing? There is no more effective marketing program that you can do. How many mailers would you have to do in order to get 2 face-to-face meetings? How much would that cost? How many doors would you have to knock on to get 2 face-to-face meetings with somebody? How many emails would you have to send? How many Facebook ads would you have to run? There is nothing that is more cost-effective and more consistent than doing this. We have clients at Home Loan Advocates who are sending us 3, 4, 5 short sales every single month. 80% of their business comes from here. They don't farm. They don't do postcards. They don't do door knockers. They don't do anything else. This is what they do. And then they get referrals from this. So we got one client in particular who did 38 short sale transactions with us last year, closed, and then they got 12 other transactions that came only from the signs that they put in their short sales. So this is what they do. Their entire marketing program is spend about an hour, hour and a half on Monday putting out labels, an hour, hour and a half on Tuesday putting out labels, and then doing the follow-up appointments and the follow-up phone calls, and they did 50 transactions last year. Okay? That's just one example. And we have lots of examples and people all over the country. It's working in California, it's working in Arizona, it's working in Washington, it's working in Florida, just to name a few of the markets that we're getting consistent transactions from. This form that you see here are the alternatives to foreclosure form, which is what we email to the client with their confirmation. It is also one of the most important parts of the package that we review with the homeowners who have a notice of trustee sale already set up when we go to the door. And we're going to talk more about this as we get into it. So now that you've got, and Laura's asking, is the alternatives of foreclosure available to us to personalize? As part of the Advocate marketing system, it is. So it's part of the Advocate marketing system package for you to be able to personalize it. Okay, so we're getting some questions. I'm going to try to get to the questions at the end because I want to make sure that we get through the content by 11 o'clock. And those of you that want to stay for a live Q&A, I'll stay on and do some live Q&A for you. All right, so what do you say at the first meeting? This is the question. So now you've got the appointment. So getting an appointment, getting face-to-face with a homeowner has never been easier using this program. And the biggest mistake that I see people making is that they take this really very simple concept and try to make it more complicated than it is. And the reality is it is just as simple as I've outlined it for you. So now you get face-to-face. So you've promised a package. So first of all, we create an introduction letter to let them know that you're affiliated with Homeowner Advocates or Home Loan Advocates. So if you become part of the Advocate Marketing System team and you join our group to be able to do this, as you get a letter that says, as part of their public outreach, you've been authorized by Home Loan Advocates to offer you assistance with a free loan modification. So now you're going face to face. You're going face to face with the homeowner, and you're offering to be of service. As part of our public outreach, you've been authorized, to work with Home Loan Advocates to help them get a loan modification or to buy more time in the house and avoid foreclosure. There's no cost or obligation. And according to the public records, it looks like you've got a foreclosure date coming up on April 4th. And I should start by asking you if you've gotten that taken care of. And the answer is almost always yes. So that's the introduction letter that we're doing. You also need in your package a disclosure statement. Many of you are licensed real estate agents. You may or may not have your license hung, but if you just have a license, you have to disclose that you have a real estate license, even if you're acting as an investor in the investor capacity. When you're going face to face, you have to disclose. So we created a disclosure document for you. We created a California Homeowner Bill of Rights. Some of these forms are customized for out of state as well. We created a California Homeowner Bill of Rights that basically says that it's against the law to dual track. In other words, if they're in loan mod review, they can't also have a foreclosure date. So this really becomes effective when they say, I've got it taken care of, I'm getting a loan mod, and we say, whoa, if you're getting a loan mod, you shouldn't have a foreclosure date. So I'm really concerned that you have a foreclosure date, but you think that you're getting a loan mod. So it's possible that you're not getting a loan mod like you think you are, and the bank's going to foreclose on you, or it's possible that you are getting a loan mod and the bank is in the process of illegally foreclosing on you. So we really need to get to the bottom of this right now. When was the last time you spoke to the bank? And then that ends up leading to a conversation that oftentimes leads you to the inside of their house at their kitchen table, that leads you making a phone call to the bank with the seller to find out what's really going on. And that's where your advocacy journey begins. Then we created this flyer. All these flyers were designed to overcome objections. We know that when we go to the door and we ask them if they've got it taken care of, we're going to get 3 or 4 responses only. So we only have to be prepared to handle the 3 or 4 responses that we get on a regular basis. And so the next response is, yeah, I have an attorney who's taking care of it. So my next question when that happens is, oh, you didn't pay them up front, did you? And the answer is almost always yes. And so we created this State Bar of California Senate bill flyer. Now we have an FTC flyer too for those people that are out of state that basically says the same thing. So Senate Bill 94 in California says it's illegal for attorneys to charge upfront for loan modification services. So we're able to use this form to say, now I have 2 concerns. Number one is you think that you're getting a loan modification, okay, but you have a foreclosure date, which concerns me that you may not actually be in a loan modification. You haven't spoken to the bank, and now you're telling me that the attorney who illegally accepted money from you in order to help you get a loan modification is the one that's telling you that you're getting a loan modification. It's really important that we talk to the bank directly to find out what's going on. There is no cost or obligation for my services. And if you want me to help you get to the bottom of this, I am happy to do that. I got 6 or 8 questions we can ask the bank right now, and we can get to the bottom of this in just a few minutes and find out exactly where you stand. Okay? Then if they say, well, a realtor or a mortgage person is helping me, you didn't charge them, you didn't pay them up front, did you? And then we use the California BRE consumer alert flyer that says it's illegal for anyone to charge upfront for loan modification services. All right, so this form is designed to do that. We also created a flyer called the Homeowner Assistant Scams flyer. So if anybody who's approached them about anything, we can point to one of these paragraphs to point out that they may not be legitimate. And they're especially not legitimate if there are upfront fees involved. We have a California version of this, and we have a national version of this. Then we have a flyer called The Truth About Loan Modifications. This goes in the package as well. So when people start talking about the frustrations of getting a loan mod, we're able to use some statistics here to point out that only 15% of people who apply for a loan mod get a trial loan mod, and only 4% of people who apply for a loan mod end up getting a permanent loan mod. And so the odds are against them by 96%. In other words, there's a 96% likelihood that they cannot get a loan modification, no matter how desperate they are, no matter how crazy their hardship is, no matter what the lifestyle circumstances are around this person. They are not very likely to be able to get a loan modification. In fact, it's normal for them to get declined, not normal for them to get approved. So we're able to talk to them in terms that they can understand and let them know that they're not the only ones facing their problems. And I can also explain to them their best chance of getting a loan modification is to work with us. This Ask the Banker flyer is something that Lee Hanich created that we just dressed up. Again, more data that supports the real chances of getting a loan modification. I wrote an ebook called How to Negotiate Your Own Loan Modification. I don't put this in my initial package anymore. I put this in my follow-up package. So this goes in my second meeting package. I put this in. And this book explains what they need to do in order to get a loan modification. So it talks about the mathematical formula: front-end debt to income, back-end debt to income, pre-mod cash flow, post-mod cash flow, and net present value. We put this one-page Keep Your Home California flyer in there. If your state has one of these funds where they're helping homeowners, this is money left over from the Department of Justice settlement still. We put this in here as an additional resource, and we actually ask them in our face-to-face meeting whether or not they've applied for any of these programs, and we give them a quick overview of what those programs are and what the eligibility requirements are. This goes in the first package. But these different programs have more detailed pages. So each of these have longer. So we have one for unemployment. This is 4 or 5 pages long. We have one for mortgage reinstatement, which will help catch them up on their arrears if they can afford to resume making their payments because their hardship is now over. The principal reduction program, which is really a pipe dream. We're not seeing principal reductions at all anywhere anymore. And then the transition assistance, which is really relocation money. These individual packages that we have that are detailed, these programs go in our second package. So we offer to bring this in a second meeting based on what we learned during our initial consultation with them. We created a mass joinder lawsuits flyer because this is the new thing that we're seeing where lawyers are charging $500, $750, $1,000 a month in order to continue to postpone it. They're actually filing or threatening to file lawsuits against the banks. It's not a class action suit, but we've never seen an outcome where any of these have ever worked. All they do is work to postpone the sale. And so in California, there are lots of lawyers that are charging $1,000 a month. Well, if you get 50 people to agree to pay you $1,000 a month for the purpose of only doing a foreclosure postponement, that's pretty good business. I mean, I've decided that in my next life, I want to come back as a lawyer and do this scam. Okay, not really, but the point is that can be a very lucrative business. I mean, we've run into many people who have found themselves in this situation. They've been paying lawyers, and now they're facing a foreclosure, and now the attorney wants to charge them additional fees in order to file bankruptcy and other things that they can do for free. So these lawyers are charging $1,000 a month to do what we do for our clients and your clients for free. Okay, we don't charge for foreclosure postponement services. We don't charge for assistance with doing loan modifications. We do that for free. And then when they can't get their loan mod, which is 96% of the time, then they call us and say, hey, they're foreclosing. Now what? That's when I say, hey, I'm on my way to discuss next options, and next options means selling the house. All these flyers are customizable. So you can put your logo on here, put your photo on here if you prefer, your name and contact information. This is really important because each of these documents really represent your calling card. So you don't want to just put it put your contact information on the inside or outside of the folder that you're giving them. You want it to be on every page, because if this flyer gets separated from the package, you still want them to know how to reach you. So that's how the